Teaching and education will be the topics that we're covering today, and there will be 3 specific topics I will be covering, and that is measuring pre-service teachers' knowledge of instructional tasks for teaching elementary content, revitalizing strategy instruction, role play, a productive teaching strategy to promote critical thinking. I actually pulled 3 articles from NC Live, and one of the articles that will cover my first point is measuring pre-service teachers' knowledge of instructional tasks for teaching elementary content, which is by Kim Insuk and Ko Bohema. The point of the article was to measure and evaluate the knowledge of instructional tasks and teachers' ability to enter and exit the task. In layman's terms, being able to enter and exit a lesson plan and provide instruction, and the teacher needs to have a working knowledge of how his or her lesson plan is going to be executed from beginning to end, and if it's going to meet state standards and meet the weekly and daily objectives. You should be able to get I can statements from each child. I can write my name. Depending on the grade level, of course, as you go from K through 5, it's going to be, I can multiply 3 times 6 and get the answer. Just an example offhand. But each teacher should be able to go in and know their instructions. They should know how to enter and exit into a lesson plan and exhibit knowledge of instructional tasks and content they are teaching. That's basically what I just told you and shared with you. My second article that I covered and researched on was Revitalizing Strategy Instruction. The purpose of this article is to examine the accountability factor, evaluating teachers and how they deliver instruction and redesign instruction to a class, in particular, students with disabilities. General ed teachers are generally evaluated by their administrators, principals, assistant principals, daily, sometimes weekly, monthly, depending on what the needs are and how new the teacher is within their 3 to 5 year span. After you get accustomed to teaching, observations become a little bit less, but you still have to be observed. There's still standards for especially differentiating instruction for children that are learning on level, but those that are not learning on level, which they would be deemed as having special needs or needing modifications in order to learn. And the teacher has to be knowledgeable about differentiating that instruction to meet every need of every child in the classroom. So, teachers are held accountable through evaluations and their ability to deliver redesign instruction to meet the needs of their students, specifically those with disabilities. And that is just what I said, and I just summed up again, so we revisited it twice. But my third one was a productive teaching strategy to promote critical thinking. It is role-playing. And that can look different just depending on whatever class or grade level you're in. If you're in kindergarten, what's going to look like is they're going to be moved into centers. You're going to let them have imaginary learning, playtime, may have a home center where they do activities that they would do at home, like play, make believe they're cooking, make believe they're eating food. You might have a literacy station where they're only focused on first sound fluencies and they're reading and they're following along, and you role model how you want them to read. You take your finger, show them. Now, when you move on up to the more advanced grades, like we're saying we're in 5th grade now, the way that's going to look is you're going to model how to divide something or how to multiply something on the board, or in some instances on a smart board or a Promethean board, just depending on what school you're at, if you're fortunate enough to have such technology to demonstrate. So it just depends. It just looks different things, or different ways. Teachers need to know how to role model, though, through questionnaires and video observations in a usual classroom setting is how it was found that role playing is critical to developing critical thinking skills in children. And I guess that applies to all ages. So, in conclusion, teachers are faced with many challenges, and that can be from just knowing your basic delivery of instruction and how to revitalize that, how to role play and to model to students, and how to meet the needs of special needs children, and also give differentiated learning to anybody that needs it. It doesn't all look the same. You have to have a good menu of learning techniques and instructional strategies at your disposal as a teacher. So I hope you got something from this presentation today, and I have enjoyed talking to you.